Jane523, thank you for just following me. I kind of want to edit my layout a little bit. I'm not really... This guy could be bigger. There we go. Woohoo. Woohoo, woohoo. Oh, shit. I fucked up. Sorry, I'm trying to arrange my screen, but I don't really think anyone's here yet, so it's like, whatevs. Oh my god, shit. I'm like really struggling right now. Wow. Sorry. I wish you guys could see what I see right now because you'd understand why I'm like struggling so hard. I don't know if you can like see what I'm doing. I don't think you can. Hi, Quarter Life Crisis. It's been a minute. There we go. Okay, I'm like on the precipice of getting my shit together. So close. Yet so far. God damn it. I did it again. Sorry. If you like hold two buttons too close together, they merge to the same size and then everything rearranges on the entire screen. And it happens like a lot of times. Hi, apples. Oh my god, we're all so on time today. Okay, it's like at an acceptable spot right now, so I'm just gonna leave it and stop changing it because it's like stressing me the fuck out. I can envision how difficult it is. One day I'll show you. I forgot to post on Instagram that I'm here. Oh my god, my phone's dying. Shit. Damn it. This always happens to me. Welcome, everyone. I missed you all. How are we doing? How are we living? I haven't been here on a Monday in a fucking minute. The viewer count went up so fast. Love that for us. Welcome. I think your viewer count is different than mine, and I think mine's inaccurate, because mine be fucking driving all over the place, and it's so weird. I'm gonna be... Lena, has been a long time. How are you? So I'm gonna be drinking a lot of water. I'm so fucking dehydrated. I like barely drank water over the weekend. I didn't drink any water today, and so I just need to drink a lot of water. And then I have my mics here for in a second, but oh my god. This water is like treating me so fucking good right now. I feel like a hamster with this. Like, it's giving hamster. You know the little thingies on the side of the tank? Marta Media, first time chat. Hi everyone, welcome, welcome. Did you get my shared docs of the civics training? I have, but I haven't had time to like sit down and look at it because I'm just like, generally speaking, a disaster. But I got it, and every time I open my email, I'm like, oh, I need to look at that. I need to look at that. I'm taking a picture of you. Not the class picture, but I'm taking a picture of you. So, it's for Instagram. I'm free again Wednesday, though. Don't worry. Oh my god, yay! I haven't 100% decided what we're going to do on Wednesday. You know when you can feel hair on you? You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about right now? When you can feel the hair on you? Is the chat broken? Yes, it is, Mr. President. Thank you. Of course it is. Of course it is. Just when I got everything set up right. The friggin' chat breaks. You guys, my back hurts so bad. I think the massage I got fucked up my back, which happens to me a lot, actually. I feel like maybe I should stop getting massages. But it just feels so good in the moment. I'm just gonna lay here like this. You can still hear me, right? It just sounds a little bit different. I wish I had my clicker. It's in my living room. I should have set it up. But I have to, like, plug it into my computer. I would have to get an adapter. It'd be a whole fucking thing. And then I have to, like, unplug the mic. So we're definitely not gonna do that. But I should think about that for the future. Getting my clicker so I can just lay here like this. Because my back is so broken. Like an old woman. I'm gonna post on Instagram that we're here. So your friends will come. Woohoo. We live, we laugh. How was everyone's weekend? What did everyone do? Did anyone do anything exciting? Did anyone do anything boring? Tell me. Oh, shit. I just put this on the wrong Instagram. God damn it. I put this on my old teacher Instagram. Delete. She's gone. Don't worry. She was gone before anyone saw her. Oh, Quarter Life Crisis, it was your birthday. How was your birthday? What did you do? Was it good? I'm, like, surprised at how good I'm reading from this far away. Look at me. I got new glasses. These are Firmoo glasses. I've been on the Lana Del Rey pipeline again. Good. Oh my god, it's so many people's birthday weekends. Hi. Everyone in the birthday weekends. A long existential walk. I had a party and went to the casino. You won $400? Okay, slay. I very much enjoyed the Saturday stream. Me too. It was a really good one. There were so many people here. There were twice as many people here as there usually are. So I kind of want to start streaming on Saturdays, but then on a bigger note, do I want to start streaming on Saturdays? You know? But yeah, it was crazy. I loved Saturday. The Lana Del Rey pipeline is my favorite pipeline. Hi, Toxic Hate. Hey, besties. How are we doing? How are we living? Oh my god, the chat is broken again. I'm a reproductive rights rally in your small town. I'm still in distress that Snowden looks like a tech bro Matthew Morrison. Trigger warning for the Matthew Morrison. God, how many times do I have to say it? Bed the entire weekend. It was amazing. I did a bed day yesterday. Well, I made these slides, but other than that, that's what I did yesterday. And you guys, I'm like literally such a simp for my boyfriend. The Doobie Fairy was in town visiting me, or Fairchild as you know them. And so I was staying at my house when usually I stay at my boyfriend's house like every single day of my life. And I went to his house on Sunday and I was like, I missed you so much. And I was like, literally like, wow, you're so embarrassing. Like I was looking in the mirror and I was like, you should be ashamed of yourself. It was so hot in my state. Being in bed all weekend wasn't possible. I would have melted. You got to get a bed fan. You got to get a bed fan. So I'm going to describe, oh my God, Gab Page, hi, you haven't been here in a while. Was watching your history lessons on YouTube, then remembered you were probably streaming today. I am. Ooh, yesterday was a pool day. I need to go to my pool. I never go to my pool. God. Oh my God, so let me tell you about my bed fan. So these are closet doors, like my little pillow is here, but you can see they open and it's a closet. My bed is right here. Like I'm staring at my bed right now, like I'm sitting on the ground at the foot of my bed. So I have a like fan on the top shelf of this closet pointed directly at my bed, and there's a plug in here. Like I wired it out from underneath the door to a plug and then put an extension cord up. Like I'm literally, y'all don't even know that I am literally like the home improvement queen and I know how to use power tools and I'm not fucking around and I will make it perfect. So though I like put the wire down underneath like the carpet underneath the doors so that I could put an extension cord up so that there's a little switch on the ground down here now, like not anything serious. It's literally like the extension cord switch. So I can turn my little bed fan on and then open my closet doors and there's like a strong ass fan pointed directly at my bed. I love it. Leaving a Miss Redacted YouTube to jump into a Miss Redacted stream, as you should. Women in STEM. What's a bed fan? Is it just a fan by your bed? So they have, like, ones that attach to your bed and cool, like, inside of your bed, but I just meant a fan pointed directly at your bed. I'm opposite. I'm always cold. I have a heater pointed at my bed year-round. Missouri for reference. Yeah, I live in South Florida, so I'm just, like, permanently sweaty. Mine goes under my sheets. Oh, I have a pimple right here, and I just scratched it on accident. Like, hard as fuck. That hurts so bad, and it's probably going to be so much redder now. Oh my God, I can already see it. I hate that feeling. I need a bed fan. My AC doesn't reach room. Yeah, so like the problem with my room is that like my main wall has a big window and is an exterior wall and the sun rises in that direction. So in the morning, it gets so hot in my room. I simply cannot sleep without my fan on high. I made my boyfriend get a bed fan. When I, like, started dating him and he wanted me to stay at his house, I was like, where's the bed fan? God, my face hurts. I think it's bleeding. Remember when we used to make blanket forts with fans and it was so nice and cold in there while you watch movies? The best? Oh my God, yes. My door has a little hallway from the rest of the room and only a vent sits outside that little hallway. Oh, yeah. AC is the one thing I splurge on. I'm simply not going to be sweaty. That's simply not an option. Not at this time. Oh, I forgot I have candy right here. Do you guys think it's okay to eat this candy that's from Christmas? Like, it's fine, right? It's candy. It's really good, so I want to eat it. I forgot I had it, and then I found it here the other day. And I was like, holy shit, I forgot I had this. I meant to give it to my students, but then I didn't. Do you think it's okay to eat this from Christmas? I'm seeing that everyone's saying yes. Perfect. Yeah. It's these guys. Candy has producers, right? It's only 6 months old. That's not bad. I'd eat it. I'm glad everyone's supporting the decision to eat the candy. So welcome. We haven't done education horror stories in a minute. This is good. This is very good. This is a good decision. This is, dare I say, decadent. I had pizza rolls for dinner. They were not good. The ranch I had was not right, and they burned my mouth. Isn't that so sad for me? The best Christmas candy? Oh no, look what I found. I have a whole bag of them that I forgot about. I already ate some of them at one point, but look how many. Like, I'm not going to throw this away. Are you crazy? I can't take it to my boyfriend's house, though, because he'll be like, oh my god, that's old. Like, that's not serious, you know? R.I.P. to your students. I got them other candy, okay? There was no shortage of candy. I would give them candy every day. My parents would yell at me because I would buy candy on their Amazon, and they'd be like, stop buying so much fucking candy and wasting so much money and stop spending our money. You're an adult woman. And I'd be like, it's for the kids. It's for the kids. And then eventually, they really made me cut that shit out. So I started buying it at the dollar store. And I'd be like, candy, candy. That chocolate is for you. Exactly. Okay. So, we haven't done education horror stories in a while. The only reason we haven't done them is, like, I was letting them pile up a little bit because there weren't that many. Like, you know, everyone that kind of had something to say said something. So, tell it to write it off on their taxes as a donation. Oh, they do. They do. But their beef is that it makes extra work for them because I put it on their work credit card. So I don't fucking know. They just get annoyed at it. But they do write it off as a donation. They actually bought my Nearpod subscription the first year I used it. This water is so good. You know when you're just dehydrated as fuck? And you drink some good fucking water? Like, it has lemon juice in it. It has ice, so it's cold. Like, it's actually kind of giving me a brain freeze a little bit. But God, that is such good water. Can you tell that because I'm just really into this water right now. Okay. But we're going to do education horror stories. Because they're back, and we have them, and then if you want me to keep doing them, submit them, and tell people to submit them, and I will do more. But I waited until we had, like, a fair amount, you know, because I didn't want to just do, like, one or two, and then be like, okay, that sucks, let's move on. So I wanted to wait till we had, like, at least enough to fill up a whole stream. I, too, am an only child. Best time to drink water is when you're dehydrated, for real. I forgot to send mine in, but I'm excited to hear everyone else's, and I'll do it next time, sorry. Don't apologize. If anything, it's good, because now this is, like, more for later, you know what I mean? Now you'll keep the ball rolling. Post-dehydration water is so good. Exactly. Oh my god, the other thing is, so we have education horror stories, and then we also have, like, people just spilling random tea, which I'm loving and would love for us to continue doing. And I'm thinking about, this is my plan that I just thought of right now. Why does my hair keep falling out? This is my plan I just thought of right now. So the spilling the tea one, where people can anonymously submit, like, just crazy shit that's happened to them at work, in your family, whatever. I'm going to start putting in crazy shit that's happened to me, but not say which ones have happened to me. And then either y'all can try and guess, and if you get it right, I'll tell you. And then the people that did the crazy shit to me will just have to be living in fear on if you guys are going to guess it right. Are we into... Today's garbage SCOTUS decision on theme with the Miss Redacted stream. So, I found out about that today, and it was too late for me to make new slides, because I found out at like 6 something, because I was at work all day and stuff. So I really want to do like a whole stream dedicated to that. Maybe I'll do that Monday of next week. Oh, wait, I forgot to tell you guys. I'm going on vacation. So I'm going on vacation, and this is how much I fucking ride or die for you all, is that I planned my vacation to be as minimally intrusive to stream as humanly possible, keeping in mind that me and my boyfriend are going to see not 1, not 2, but 3 different families. And I was like, we have to plan around my stream schedule, and everyone fucking fell into line. Actually, just kidding. I didn't tell anyone that. I just thought that in my head, and then the dates just worked out really nicely. So anyway, let me look at a calendar so I can tell you guys what's going on with our life and with our spirit. Oh my god, I forgot to post on Instagram that we're here. God, ADHD is going hard right now. Like, have y'all seen, like, how hard my ADHD is going right now? I think it's been a minute since it's been going this strong. Stokely, hi, first time chat. So, okay, the calendar is what we were doing. So, this week we're going to be normal. I'll be streaming Monday. I'll be streaming Wednesday. Next week, I'm taking off for the 4th of July, because it's the 4th of July. And it's a federal holiday, even though we don't stay in the United States. Okay, so I'm taking off that Monday. I will be streaming Wednesday the 6th. And then I'm going on vacation, so I probably won't be, like, on the internet as much from July 7th to July 12th. And then I'll stream on the 13th. So all you're missing is the 2 following Mondays. So I guess the easier way for me to say that would be for the following 2 weeks, Wednesdays only. That's the summer vacation, is Wednesdays only for 2 weeks. So you are missing 2 streams due to my vacation and due to the federal government having a holiday and me having off work that day and not wanting to disrupt my vibes. We don't stand nationalism, but we do stand PTO and holiday feasts. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm going to eat good. I'm going to drink good. I'm going to be at the pool. I'm going to be having fun. I don't care about the United States. I'm just here to have a good time, you know? So, education horror stories. We're here. Welcome. Continue to send them in. They'll build up for a little bit, and then we'll do more. So, what are we doing today? We're catching up on education horror stories and catching up on tea that got spilled, and then chilling and chatting and planning our escape from white supremacist Christian fascism, because this is just now our vibe, is apparently we have to fight against literal white supremacist Christian fascism taking over our entire government, which I'm not into that. Like, it's not something that I'm having a good time with. It's not something that I'm recommending. I'm just really not into it. And, like, it's just such a small percentage of our population that is into it. And, like, if it was, like, 80% of Americans, I might have to be like, it's fucking 80% of the people. That's how democracy works. But it's not. It is not. It is not a majority or even close. So, I'm deeply concerned and very scared. I almost made one of those videos where it was like, if you ever need to travel to me, I have a couch and blah, blah. And then I remembered that I live in Florida, so I think I would be the one doing the traveling, not the host. That was a sobering realization, I should say. The escape from white supremacist Christian fascism. It's hard right now after my civics training. Your civics training. Concerning. The 15-week ban goes into effect on Friday in Florida. Incredible. Incredible. I love this, Mirage. So those videos can be used as evidence to people who do stay with you for abortions, though. I hate it here. Also, like, are they really going to look that hard? I don't know. Those creators are putting targets on their backs. Yeah, that is true. The internet's a scary place. Oh my god, people are being annoying on the internet. I'm really hoping my governor reverses the law from the 1800s. I hope so too. People are always annoying on the internet, myself included. People are saying it's a red flag. Actually, I don't want to even care. Whatever. Sorry, I was being in my comments, but my phone's about to die. Love that conservatives went from my body, my choice about vaccines, but suddenly that doesn't apply. Didn't the courts put an injunction on the 1800s trigger law today? I don't know. Okay, let's get into education horror stories. This is depressing, and I want to talk about it, but I also physically cannot keep talking about it because everything hurts and I am dying. But yeah. I'm in Illinois. You say putting a target on your back. Sorry, it's probably fine. Okay, so starting off with the Truants Club. OMG, wait, is my sub story in this one? Yes, I think so. Johnny Levy subscribed with Prime. Thank you. If you have Prime and you want to subscribe, that will be dope. I think you just have to be logged in like through your Amazon and you get some free subscriptions. If you've already used them, no worries. Continue to hang out. But if you have free subscriptions just sitting there and you want to throw one my way, that would be cool. Also, speaking of me chasing my bag, I did a brand deal with Furmill, and I don't really do brand deals because they really give me the ick, like, very much give me the ick, but I actually really liked their product, and they had, like, really good energy, so I was like, okay, cool, I'll do this brand deal. I don't know how much, like, I need to talk to them, though, because I'm kind of confused about something, actually. Did you guys see that the justices got doxxed within, like, 4 hours? They announced the overturning. I love that. I love everything about that. Being doxxed is one of my biggest fears on planet Earth. I don't know why I'm saying that publicly. That was, like, an invitation, so please don't do that. But I think that they deserve it. That's how I feel about the Supreme Court. And by an Ed Sheeran fan account on TikTok, I hope that makes it to the history books. I pray that that makes it to the history books, truly. Okay, let's do our first education horror story. I've seen their addresses 3 separate times on 2 separate socials. That's crazy. Okay, so one day in 7th grade, a lot of students got pulled out of PE class to talk about being truants. Problem is, they didn't check to see if the absences were excused or not, so of all the kids who had been out for medical reasons, me included, were at this meeting. I had gotten sick several times and had surgery that year. One girl had gotten major surgery, and I'm pretty sure another kid had cancer. They read out everyone's absences out loud to a group of like 30 kids, then told us that we might not be able to get our licenses, and there was a possibility of going to jail. 7th grade, going to jail. Something's not adding up. And then they made us fill out a worksheet about coming to school more often. This is very much your counselor. This meme is tiny. I don't know if you can see it. But this is a scene from Modern Family where she goes, okay, so after a quick scan of his Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, and Instagram, here's what I know. And then Luke goes, privacy is dead. That is how I feel about your counselor reading off all of these. Privacy is absolutely dead. No license, the 7th grade. That's a little premature. Is that even true? I'm assuming that's not true. Like, very much assuming that it's not true. Hoping. Because that would be really fucked up. If because your parents didn't take you to school in 7th grade. Sorry. If your parents didn't take you to school in 7th grade and then you're, like, an adult and you fucking lose your, like, you're not able to get a license. Not in 7th grade. Yeah, I know you can lose your license for truancy. Like, I remember when I got my license, I had to bring my attendance thing from school. Like, my thing from the school being like, homie has a license, she's all good. Or, like, she's gone to school, give her a license, whatever. But yeah. I did not have to do that. Oh, I think it probably depends on the state. Maybe even by county. That's so weird. Is that a state thing? Yeah, I think it is. Okay, so when I told my mom, she immediately went to talk to them. Turns out they not only didn't check to see if the absences were excused, but partial absences were counted as full-day absences. When they fixed those issues, I had maybe 2 unexcused absences. So a bunch of the sick kids were getting threatened with jail because they were too sick to go to school. P.S. Even if we legitimately had missed all those days, I don't know why they would talk to the children who couldn't drive about it and not the parents. Oh, sorry, I thought that one had a part 3. My license got threatened for truancy, but I had a disability that made me miss school, so we threatened to sue, LOL. I love threatening to sue. Like, that's probably the whitest thing about me. Like, actually, everything is the whitest thing about me, but that one might take the cake. Like, I love threatening a lawsuit. I'll threaten a lawsuit. I would do that. If they counted my kid, like, absent for something that they shouldn't have, and they were going to take something away, I'd be like, bitch, see you in court. I'll see you in motherfucking court. I'll threaten to sue any school. I'll threaten to sue any business. I'm not one of those people that'll threaten to sue a person. Like, if we got in a car accident, I'm not going to be like, I'm going to sue you, because, like, it was an accident, and, like, no one wants to fucking deal with that. But a company? Oh, I'm suing a company. The government? Biting at the chance to sue the government. Just biting at it, truly. My mom threatened to sue when I was in middle school. My mom is big threatening to sue energy. I actually don't love to threaten to sue. What I actually love to do that I learned from my mother is way more manipulative. She would go, I'm sure you know this would completely be grounds for a lawsuit. That would be a very open and shut case, but I don't want to do that to you and I don't want to deal with that myself. So I know that you'll be able to get this resolved. Like, it's a soft threat of a lawsuit. You know what I mean? Just wanted to say hi from France. I'll watch the video when I'm working in the morning. Oh my God, hi. Thanks for being here from France. Love your protesting. Love your bread. Love your people. Love your fashion. Love your art. Your weather was South of France was nice. 10/10 on that. The blanket threat. Like, that bitch is crazy. She is iconic, but she is crazy. Are you happy to be in Paris? Paris is pretty. The sunset's there. Very much gorgeous. Love the history. I love an old-ass city. Like, I love like, America makes me laugh, because we'll have a desk that's, like, 200 years old, and it has, like, 15 guards around it, and we, like, can't, like, touch it or look at it or anything. You can't take pictures of it. And then in France, you'll literally, like, be in, like, the fucking street and, like, on a building, and the door is from, like, the 1700s. And, like, yeah, this is from the 1700s. We never got a new door. We kept a cracked bell, literally. Like, we keep, like, the most, like, it's not even old. Like, it's not even old. I'm from the south of France. I went to Nice when I was a kid, and I loved it. My mom always joked when we were there for like a week, she joked that she was going to leave me there because I had like very blonde hair and like very tan skin because I would be outside all the time and I would like run around with the little French children, and I like fucked up my clothes a ton on that trip somehow, and so she kept having to like, she had to get me new shoes and a new jacket, so I had this like French kid shoe and jacket, and she was like, you look the part. She was like, you're out with these other little tanned French children frolicking in the rocks on the beach. Like, she was like, I'm going to leave you here. This is your home now. We have a rock that is roped off. As far as countries goes, the USA is basically a baby. We don't have things that are old yet. Yeah, we're not old. We're not old. Okay, so that was the Truants Club. It's the hottest club of 2022. Now moving on to West Virginia is a joke. So a girl in my education class in high school has been sharing her experiences with the West Virginia public school system. We are college students at FSU, Frostburg State University, I'm assuming. I went to a different FSU. I went to Florida State University. I did not like it. Loved my classes, hated the school. In the secondary education program, anyways, West Virginia is a joke. Two stories stick with me. Both are social studies classes she was in. One, a history class. The teacher had all the students debate LBGTQ. I feel like those letters are in a different order that I'm used to seeing. Rights. 90% of the class was Republican, and like 3 students were members of the LGBT community. Needless to say how that went. If you're ever thinking about debating someone's rights in your classroom, the answer is no. The answer is that you don't do that. Shouldn't really need to explain why. But you don't do that because it's rude and disrespectful and very weird to do. Fellow FSU student for counseling hated it, LOL. You went to there for counseling? Have you been my therapist before? I went to their counseling center where the students give you like knockoff therapy. They were pretty good, not gonna lie. As a Tally native, I apologize on behalf of FSU. It's fine. I will say Tallahassee has the best bad food. Like, Tallahassee has the best, like, fast food and junk food. Like, Tallahassee has it all when it comes to that. Like, they have Chick-fil-A, they have Whataburger, they have, like, everything nasty that you love in Tallahassee. I moved after I graduated, got the fuck out of there, but maybe you did see me. I miss Tallahassee food more than everything. My class discussed I miss the fucking... Oh, I don't remember what the place is called. It was, like, right on West Tennessee. Like, if you passed Taco Bell and, like, kept going, like, right there, it was an Asian place, and they had poke bowls that I fucking loved, and they were huge, and they were pretty cheap for how big they were. You have to respect all you can drink for $10 a night. I didn't really drink there, so, like, not to get into my trauma or anything, but my freshman year, I was in Panama, and I got roofied, and it really freaked me out from clubbing. Like, still to this day, it's not an environment I like. Bento. It's bento. Thank you, Quarter Life Crisis. So, still to this day, I do not like the club because I got roofied, and it really freaks me out. So, like, but I moved to Tallahassee pretty shortly after that happened, and so, like, $10 a night. Is everyone there an alcoholic? Yes, that's why I hated it. Because I moved there shortly after that happened, so I really had no interest in going to bars or clubs at all. Like, it was just not something I wanted to do, which made it harder to, like, make friends and stuff. So, like, I didn't have a ton of friends in college. I also was going home a lot for work, and I only lived in Tallahassee for a year and a half. So it's just, like, not somewhere I feel particularly connected to. I don't have any close friends there. I had a couple friends while I was there and, like, would do things occasionally. But, like, I very much had a boring life there. Like, was not doing much, didn't really know that many people. Got treated terribly by some men. It's a miracle I made it out of there alive, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, everyone there is an alcoholic. I paid $50 a semester to get a all-you-can-drink at Bullwinkle 7 days a week with my membership card. That is so disturbing. That is so disturbing. God. Tallahassee, Florida. I sent my sister this TikTok about drooling, and I don't think she knows that it was a joke. Why is it allowed to exist? Blue Booby, so late. Hi, welcome. We're only on slide 6. Loving the water. The water is crushing it today. Star of the show for this stream is the water. Okay. So, secondary, during her American history class, they were on the Civil War unit. The teacher played Captain America, Civil War to cover the unit. I don't even think that's about the Civil War. I've never seen it. I still can't wrap my brain around that one. Look up West Virginia public school rankings among the country. It's like number 40. Okay, so this is the Pick Me sub. Yeah, bowls specifically, they would give you a cup at the door. That I physically cannot. I've never been there. Like, I know exactly where it is. I just never went there. The chat broke. Thank you. The whole college thing is a scam. It really is. I thank God every day that my parents paid for that bullshit, because I cannot imagine if I was in debt right now over that. Like, I would be so mad. I don't know how y'all that are living through that. Like, y'all are God's toughest soldiers, because I would literally be so violently angry about it. Honestly, the first movie would have been more on point. It happens during World War II. 40 is actually higher than I thought we were. Oh, sorry, I burped. Okay, there's an interim sub at my school that is absolutely obnoxious. She wears the most out-of-pocket things she says the most out-of-pocket things and wears the most obnoxious outfits. She's 50 and wears ripped jeans and a crop top to school, which, like, if you want to be 50 and have your titties out, that's totally fine, but, like, not at your sub job at a public high school. Like, that's not where you can do that. Like, if you want to be 50 in a crop top, do your fucking thing, but, like, not at school. What's wrong with you? And, like, it's not that you're 50 and that you can't wear that. It's that you're 50, so you should know you cannot wear that to work. Because when a 20-year-old wears that to work, it's like, oh, they didn't know you can't wear that to work. They're stupid. But, like, you should fucking know that you don't wear that to work. I want to be really clear that we're not making fun of you for your age. We're disappointed that you made it this far in life without fucking knowing that you don't wear crop tops to work. That's the stance I'm taking. I'm proud to say our teachers went on strike for better healthcare my senior year. I was so inspired by them. Oh my God, yes. How do you feel about Gen Z going through all this history in such a short time? Like, how are we okay with this? So Gen Z is going through a lot of history in a very short time, but that's also not the first time that this has happened. So a lot of other generations have gone through a lot of history at one time too. So people that grew up like the 19-teens, like 1915 to 1922, let's say, that was a crazy time. There was tons of labor rights activism. World War I happened. A pandemic happened. Like, a lot of crazy shit happened right at that time. So that generation went through that. During the 70s, there's a lot of, like, my dad's generation kind of, well, I guess he was, like, in his 20s then. Yeah, so, like, it would be about checked out. Yeah, my mother went through a good amount in the 60s, 70s. So if you think about, like, fucking Kennedy got shot and, like, the Vietnam War and, like, a lot of shit happened then. And then there's also, like, the Cold War, and we thought we were going to die from, like, nukes from Russia. Like, it's always been so much, and it's never let up. I know that's not comforting. I'm really sorry that that's not comforting, but just try and have fun. It's my advice. Civil rights, Watergate, a whole lot of stuff. Therapy. I love that therapy suggestion. Not the lead poisoning. Lead poisoning, at least now. Okay, I was gonna say, At least now we don't have to worry about lead poisoning. But what it is that microplastics are our generation's lead poisoning. You know what I mean? That's our generation's lead poisoning. Like, when we are old and decrepit and we're in charge of the government, all the young people are going to be like, oh, all those old and decrepit people with fucking microplastic poisoning are running our government. And we're going to be like, ah! I can't wait. Just found out our water systems are rated a C- because they haven't been updated in decades. My family's home from the 1920s has asbestos siding and it's unsafe to replace. This is not good, you guys. Not the microplastic. I remember when I was in high school, I got freaked out about microplastics and I started crying. And I would tell my parents, I'd be like, don't touch receipts. I'd be like, when you touch the receipts, BPA enters your bloodstream and will kill you. And my parents threatened to send me to a mental hospital because I wouldn't shut the fuck up about how we couldn't touch plastic. And we needed to get rid of all the plastic in our home. And that they can't touch receipts. And then now I'm fucking right. I'm literally right. The BPA is loving it in my bloodstream right now. My city's water has tasted like dirt for a month. Methadone Daddy, hello, I'm very late. I'm sorry, I have a note from the office. I don't recognize the authority of the office. One time I said that to my student and they looked so scared. I was like, I'm kidding, give me the note. I was a fucking menace in the classroom. Like, that's one thing that y'all don't know is that I would literally, like, I would joke around with them so much and they would never know I was joking. No, I want to be a cool old person. I don't want to be a decrepit old lady with microplastics. Speak for yourself. I guess you did. I fully remember when water in my town was contaminated and I didn't know and took the world's largest drink. I wasn't allowed to microwave anything that wasn't glass. Are you my child? Because that would be me. I'd be like, get away from the microwave. I'm not going to have a microwave in my house. Air fryers only. Mainly just because the air fryer is better. I ate glitter as a child, so... I'm sorry, I'm deceased at your name being Sparkle TT2, and you saying I ate glitter as a child. I ate glitter as a child, so there's already so much plastic in my blood. Imagine if you got cut, and there were, like, just glitter chunks in it, but not in, like, a cool, like, Tumblr aesthetic way, but in, like, a chunky way. Become an unhinged, cryptic old person to blame the microplastics. So I had this thought the other day. I'm about to scare y'all so fucking bad, so just get ready. So, this is what I think is gonna happen. Me eating glitter to go on my strange addiction. I just ate it. How did you eat glitter? I just ate it. You're like, that shit was not an accident. Yum, yum, bitch. Bon appetit. Okay, but let me freak y'all out. So this is what I think it's going to be like when I'm old. I think I'm going to have, like, my phone, and I'm going to be, like, scrolling on my phone, and my grandkids are going to be like, ugh, or, like, whatever fucking kids I have around, they're going to be like, ugh, Grandma, the phone is in your eyes now. All you have to do is look left twice, then look right twice, and your screen will come up. Like, why are you holding your phone and you have to charge it? That's so embarrassing. And I'm going to be in my recliner, love a recliner, and I'll be like, I need to hold the phone in my hand. I need to feel it. I like to feel the phone in my hands. Y'all with your little iPhones in your eyes, I like to feel the iPhone. It makes it feel real. That's what it's going to be like. It's going to be like our parents with books. You know what I mean? They're going to yell at us about the danger of too much screen time. iPhone, iPad kids versus the iPad grandparents. I can't wait to be an iPad grandparent. Do I want kids? No. But I'd love to be an iPad grandparent. You know what I mean? Not the phone behind the eyes. Me reading books. Yes, like the Kindle versus the real book. That's what I think it's going to be. The new Kindle versus real book debate is going to be iPhone versus iPhone. And I'm team iPhone. Get that shit away from me. This definitely feels like something Google is working on. I want to be a crotchety old man that sits on his porch all day yelling at people. You are on one today. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. I am on one today. When I was a librarian, the number of people who told me They just like the feel of the real book, like they were the first. They're like, this is an original thought. Surely no one has thought this before. Okay, but we need to talk about this Pick Me sub because it's like actually fucking crazy. So this sub is 50 years old wearing jeans and crop tops to the school. Before she got the sub position, they pull her as she's needed. She was running the Big Brother Big Sister program. There's a lot of deeply unhinged people running nonprofits. She came into classes to promote signing up. It was super awkward, but going okay until she decided to look directly at the queer students in my room and say, we have a BLT, LBT, TBL support group. When I tell you she stared them down, I mean she stared them down. Eventually my coworker across the hall left for maternity leave and this lady took over the classroom. This woman showing up to her sub job as a 50-year-old woman wearing Forever 21 jeans. A sub had to be police escorted out of my high school for making so many inappropriate comments to the students. Of course. Of course. We're going to make fun of our kids for not being able to use the handheld phone the way our parents make fun of us for not knowing what a landline is. How old are y'all? I know what a landline is. Okay. So, she continued to be a nuisance, of course. Some examples of the out-of-pocket things that happened. One, I was voted queen in the teacher court by my students. The pep rally was at the end of the day Friday, so on Monday I wore the crown for my students because it was funny and they were the ones that voted for me. I used it as a classroom management strategy, and when I was teaching the monarchs in the world, she said in front of the other two teachers and my students, you were clearly never prom queen in high school, huh? Then proceeded to say I was letting this go to my head. This continued for a few weeks, then she'd refer to my students' prom as my own prom. I got, oh, are you excited for your prom? Are you excited to buy a dress for your prom? Like, okay, lady, we get it. She is deeply unwell. She is so angry that she didn't win Teacher Queen. She is so mad that she did not win Teacher Prom Queen. She's not cool with it. Wait, I just decided how I want to rearrange my screen. She also uses the R word. Jesus Christ. Quarterlife Crisis said, she did give me an opportunity to bond with my fellow queers without having to out myself to the class. But yes, it was insane. Also, yes. God, this woman. That's insane. I'm moving the screen just so you know what's going on. Just so you are calm and aware of what's happening today. Okay, I moved you up higher. This sub sounds like a narcissist. This sub is giving my ex-boyfriend. Okay, so she was constantly commenting on people's outfits and bodies in front of students. She would stand in the hallway and call the teacher next to me sexy whenever she wore leggings and not drop the convo. I am opening my Mike's Hard Lemonade. So they letting anyone sub, huh? Yeah, they are letting anyone sub. Not a narcissist, just incredibly insecure. Okay. Ooh. She had to say at least 10 times, oh, you look sexy in those pants. Look how good her body looks. Whenever I would wear one solid color, she would say, that's what I need to wear for... Sorry, I couldn't breathe for a second. She would say, that's what I need to wear for my body type, or make comments about how I was wearing an outfit I should wear on a date. She would also ask in front of students if I was on any dating apps. She would ask in front of students if you were on any dating apps. Sexual harassment, who? Like, that is out of pocket. Did she have a crush on you? A sub tried to convert my friend to Christianity during the middle of study hall. Oh my god. She would also talk shit about people's kids, her neighbors, and anyone that wasn't in the room. She's kind of an icon for that. Overall, I'm so glad she's gone, LOL. I, literally cannot and physically will not get over this because this is absolutely hilarious that she asked you that in front of the kids. Was she fired? Yeah, why did she leave? No, full last name drop and everything to people who lived in her neighborhood in the lunchroom. Same energy as me in the psych ward, helping one of the nurses set up her Bumble account. Methadone daddy. You were like, yeah, that's a good picture. You're like, no, the second one, not the first one. You look fat in the first one. That's such a bonding moment. That's like really iconic of you, truly. Um, Sorry, I keep getting distracted today. ADHD on 1,000. All right, so now we're going to talk about aides. Like a classroom aide is like someone who helps someone in some way. It's kind of a broad term. So this is not a student horror story, but an aide. I am blind, and this year I share a room with another blind student. His aide wouldn't do her job. His aide wouldn't do her job. She would not come to work whenever she decided it was too hard. It was on really only on days where there was a changed schedule, and would call at 7:30 when school started at 7:45. I went to the principal of my school and he did nothing. They couldn't fire her because of the shortage of staff. Needless to say, aides need to be paid more. My EA has stuck with me from kindergarten. I'm going to be a freshman. But he's had a different aide every year he's been here. We also need good aides. I don't know what the insensitive should do. I think that might have been like a autocorrect or something like that, but we need something. You could make more at Culver's is like a fast food place, than being an aide at the district. That is so true. So the pay that I got when I was like a hostess at like a hotel was higher than the pay, not just higher, was double than the pay I made as a preschool teacher, floater teacher. Like I was like a sub and got sub pay, but I was like the floater teacher to give everyone breaks, and then I took over a class when she went on maternity leave. But anyway, I digress. It's crazy how little some of these positions pay. It's so wild to me that there's so many of these crazy stories. Like, is the school system in us okay? You want to know how many we've done total? I have never skipped one. Actually, that's not true. There's been 3 or 4 ever that I've skipped because one of them was very, very clearly a small child upset that they had math homework. They were like, could not have been older than 5th grade, judging by what they were talking about. So I skipped that one because that's just not really what we're doing here. And then some other ones have been like so confusing that I just could not figure out what the person was talking about at all because there were so many like grammatical issues or whatever, which I feel really bad, but it was just so confusing. Those are the only ones I've ever skipped. So let's say minus 10 from this number. I've gotten 393 submissions on here. And think about how long each of them are and how many times people will bring up more than one thing. They advertised my supervisory sped position, that was $24K a year. Jesus Christ. I just realized one of my toenails is really long. I need to cut that. I keep burping. Okay. So, she's coming back next year, and I'm so glad I won't be at that school anymore. Second, my overseeing teacher told me that she wanted to take away my good aid and give it to another student, and that she was really nervous about next year because of not having someone to micromanage the other aide. I didn't know how to respond, but just looking back on it, I should have laughed in her face. I don't really care about him. I just need to graduate. This year was horrible, and if you'd like one more, I'd happily give them because this woman is wild. This story confused me a little bit. I kind of can't figure out, like, it seems like from this one, you're a student, but from this one, you're a teacher. So is this like 2 stories, or I don't know. Literally nothing happened. So my history teacher of freshman high school, I graduated a few weeks ago, took us to the indoor track to do some activity, and my group was in front. Apparently we took too long for him. When we finished the lap, he complained about how he shouldn't have put me in the front because I'm slow. Mind you, for the entire year up to that point, I'd been doing extremely poorly in his class because of my mental health, but when I went to him for extra credit, he'd always say I'd never applied myself because I'm lazy, I don't care, etc. Then when I went to my vice principal about it, literally nothing happened. I was told we'd set up a meeting with the teacher and some other admin, but nothing came of it. Why do principals think that they can just be like, yeah, we'll set up a meeting, and then not set up the meeting, and like somehow that's going to fix it and everything's going to be totally fine? Like, you can't just say you're going to set up a meeting and then just not have the meeting. Screaming at teachers will for sure help. Great plan. Solidarity if you've gotten screamed at by your principal. This is actually going to be our class photo, so be thinking of what you want to say in the class photo while I go through this slide. So my mom used to teach 3rd grade, and in Mississippi, students have to pass a literacy test in 3rd grade. Basically, test scores were projected to be super low, like 40% pass rate this year due to COVID, literally half the school burning down last year. So if you sent this in, can you please elaborate on half the school burning down? I'd like to know more about that. Half the school burned down, and I'm really wondering why, how. I'm assuming it was just some kind of accident. Why'd the school burn down? This meant they lost thousands of dollars in supplies and had to put 2 classes in each room. If I ever had to share a classroom with another teacher, I think I would turn into the Joker. What do you mean we have 2 classes in one room? What are you talking about? We're not doing that. You cannot have 2 classes going simultaneously in the same room. That's literally just not how that works. I love they glossed over, like that detail was no biggie. Yeah, they were like, oh, and half the school burned down. At first I misread it. I thought they were talking. So when I was reading this, it was saying, basically test scores were projected to be super low, like a 40% pass rate. And I thought they were talking about the pass rate for the district. And then I thought it said literally half of the schools burning down. So I was like, I'm sorry, did you just say that half of the schools in the district burned down? And I misread it, and I was like, what? And then I read it again, and I was like, oh, just half of one school. That's like a lot less crazy. It's a lot less crazy. Okay, so the principal would call all the language teachers into meetings and literally scream at them for an hour straight about how they weren't doing their jobs correctly and they weren't allowed to teach anything that would not be on the literacy test. This included vocabulary words and spelling test. He would then go into meetings with the math and science teachers where they would giggle and chat the whole time. Needless to say, my mom ran away from that school the second that she could. So I think this is going to be our meme for our class photo. Just so you know, this is going to be our class photo meme. The school my mom works at moved a classroom into the cafeteria. I used to have to teach in the cafeteria all the time. So the school that I taught at had 2 buildings, and like I was in the new building, but the new building's AC would break all the time because even though the building was newer, it had the original AC, and the old building had an upgraded AC because you know what I'm saying? So my building, the AC would go out all the time. So whenever the AC would go out, they would just tell us to bring our classes to the cafeteria because when the AC would go out, like condensation would form on the walls and there'd be water all over the floor. So it's not like you could just teach in the heat per se, but if the AC, like, so we would just have to take all the kids to the cafeteria, and I would be with my class in the cafeteria sitting at a lunch table, and my class fucking hated me because all the other teachers would be like, I'm not dealing with this, you can just go on your phones. And I'd be like, we're still having class today. I made a lesson plan. Get out your computer. We are still having class. And I would literally pick up the tables with the boys. I would make them help me to move the tables like as far away from everybody as we could. And I would make them sit there and we would have class. And we would do an assignment. And usually I would tell them, as your reward for working under adverse conditions, as long as you do the assignment, I'll give you an A on it. You just have to at least do it. And that's what I would do. Goma City say I quit. Yeah, I was like, that's not an option. I was like, that's not, I'm not a quitter. We do not quit. That is not a choice that you can make at this time or ever. I just took the class photo because I liked the chat and I like this meme, so I took it. Thanks! Okay, Ed rising, more like Ed falling. This is a really long one. It has 6 parts. Stokely, if you're still here, Home City say I quit. Sorry, that's like the best chat I've ever gotten. But yeah, I was like, y'all really think we're about to do nothing? Y'all have not met me. We never do nothing. Idle hands are the devil's playground. I used to always say that, and they would get so mad. They'd be like, didn't you say you don't go to church? And I was like, no, I don't. It's horrible here. I have such a complicated relationship with Florida. It's tough. I love it here. I love it here. I hate it here. It's also, I'm going to send it in the chat right now. I'm going to tell you something. I didn't want to say it, so I'm typing it. Actually, that's not true. Okay. My fam just vacated in Florida, and I have to respectfully decline because I cannot imagine humidity. I do not go outside much, and I will say, I have candy canes too. Fun! So I will say, like, Florida sucks in the summer. Like, the summer is my winter. I do not want to be outside. It's way too fucking out. I see Florida and Raise You Canada. Canada is very expensive. So is Florida now. But anyway, I don't go outside in the summer. It rains all the time. It's fucking humid. I hate it. But Florida winter is amazing. Like, I live in South Florida, and in like December, January, where it's in the 60s, it feels so good. You can be outside for hours. It's so comfortable. You don't need a jacket, but you're not hot most of the time. It's like perfect. I love it. Mr. President, I'm answering your chat right now. That's why I said kinda. Okay, so let's get into Ed Rising, more like Ed Falling. This is a long one. In my state, Louisiana, the 2019, they named names here. The 2019 Teacher of the Year, Miss Kimberly Eckert. Miss Eckert also happened to be my English teacher that year. I was a freshman. As an English teacher, she was nice, overly nice, fishy nice. She really did try hard to be inclusive, but turned out to be a big problem in the end. Miss Redacted, I think you should consider snowbirding for your microplastic elderly years. I would love that. If I had the money to be like a New York summer, South Florida winter, that would be my dream. I'd be obsessed with it. Are you wearing SPF in Florida? I'm really trying to get better about it. I suck at wearing sunscreen. Just so y'all know, y'all better stick by me when this happens. I am going to age horribly. I'm going to age horribly. I was a lifeguard, never wore sunscreen because I loved being tan. And now I just always forget to remember it, or I always forget to put it on. I never remember. I hate the way it feels on my skin, so like I never reapply like I should. I just hate it. It's not that now I like want to be tan. I definitely like being tan, but now it's like not important to me, and I know it's so bad for my skin. And I try to be better about sunscreen, but like I just hate the way sunscreen feels so much. I'm trying to get over it. I found a really good face one that I really like. I need to get more in the habit of putting it on. I actually need to buy some more. But anyway, back to Ed Rising. So at the end of the school year, whispering starts that Eckert is going to have some elite special selected class and education and social justice based class. I hate sunscreens that aren't weird. There are sunscreens that aren't weird feeling. I hate spray sunscreen. I hate sunscreen, so I just fully don't go outside. If they put SPF and fake tan, the world would heal. They would. I found out one that goes on lotion. Lately, I've heard people putting it on with a makeup brush so they don't have to feel it as much. It's really like my body, though. It's not the putting it on. It's the having it on. I feel greasy and sticky, and I don't like it. It's also really hard for me to find lotion that I like. I'm so picky about lotion. There's only 2 lotions that I will use because the rest of them make me feel greasy and slick and gross. Exactly, Gabby. So I only use CeraVe lotion and the Victoria's Secret water lotion. I do not know why. I love the Victoria's Secret water lotion. It's so like, I don't know how to, it's very watery. Like, it doesn't feel sticky. You put it on and you just feel really wet, and then it takes a long time to soak in, and then you feel so smooth. It's the best lotion in the world. There's probably ingredients that'll kill me. I know Victoria's Secret's a terrible company, but it's the only lotion I like. I'm really sorry. What's the sunscreen I like? It's a Korean sunscreen. I can't remember what it's called, but it's in my Amazon storefront under like the beauty stuff. It's SPF 50. I like it because it's very thin. Like, it's like literally the consistency of water. Like, you pour it on your hand, and if you went like this, all of it would immediately fall down. So I put it in my hands and rub it in, and then just rub it all over my face like a lotion, and it soaks in really nice. Neutrogena has lotion sunscreen, but I ended up being allergic to it. That's scary. Okay, so let's get back to the education and social justice-based class. I remember I joined along with 8 other people in my school. We were the inaugural class of Educators Rising of Louisiana. It was a big deal in legislative and educational circles. We had press conferences and interviews. Eckert trained us on how to act, how to speak. We had dedicated class time to learn every possible question, as well as manners and etiquette. Nothing felt genuine going into interviews. Older in an age all of us were in this. Older members would scold me and other younger members for giving any kind of constructive criticism or straight up complaints about Ed Rising in our school. The not being able to complain made it feel like a cult. Lots of things in schools are very much giving cult vibes. Speaking of feeling like a cult, we were teenagers and dressed and posed like adults. I remember going through my closet after I quit, and even my grandma wouldn't wear some of that shit. When I was in high school, my mom tried to get me to do mock trial because our neighbor was a lawyer and she was in charge of it. And so she was like, hey, you should do mock trial with our neighbor. And then as soon as I found out I had to wear a fucking skirt pantsuit, and I wore it or a skirt suit thing, and I wore it one time to one event. I was like, I am out. I am immediately and aggressively out of this bullshit. And they gave me a bunch of boring stuff to read. I was like, no. Immediately no. I'm literally not doing that. Like, no. What? No, I don't care. No, I'm not. It's not an option at this time or ever. Like, literally no. Where was I? The leadership class for my seniors in school got canceled my freshman year because of essentially hazing of all the freshmen. One of the times I've seen my dad lose it. Bro, hazing? It's like, just relax instead, you know? All right, so we did student teach at a few of the local schools for a semester, still high school students. I taught 4th grade social studies class for about an hour every Friday. I did love that. I do love education, educating others, so I will say this class helped me realize that, though I'm not sure how legal and legit it was to have unqualified high school students teaching younger students. I think that's fine. When my sister was in high school, she did this. She thought she wanted to be a teacher, and then she did this and was like, yeah, I don't want to be a teacher. So she did this at an elementary school, and yeah, it's essentially free labor. I think it's really good, though. I think it's a good thing to have high school kids interacting with younger kids. I think it teaches them responsibility. I think it's good for younger kids to have someone closer to their age that they can look to for advice and leadership and whatever. I'm very in favor of it. I think the rules around it, that as long as these are followed, I think it's legal, is that the classroom teacher is there the entire time. I think that's the rule. And also the way my sister did it is like, it sounds like you were teaching social studies. My sister, like, was a helper. Like, sometimes the teacher would be like, oh, you can teach today, but sometimes she would have, like, a small group, and sometimes she would, like, grade stuff. Like, it was, like, always different, you know? So I don't know how legit it is for you to just be, like, teaching every day, because, like, what if you were teaching them the wrong stuff? Especially if the other teacher isn't there. It's essentially free labor. I'm definitely in favor of it. Because to me, it's like, it's not free labor because it's a part of the high school student's education. Like, I think it's part of their education to learn how to interact and how to teach people younger than them. So I think they should get class credit for it, and I think it should be like an elective class. I think high schoolers should be able to do job shadowing as elective classes, and I think that should be one of the options. This is my ideal world, is like, if I was queen of the school, I would have like 10 different job shadowing classes. Like, I would just like coordinate with like other principals of another school or like businesses or whatever. And I would have like 10 choices. Like, it's like, here are your 10 choices, the 10 different jobs you can shadow. If you don't like any of these, you have to create the partnership and then bring it to me with the person, and we'll do like a background check and all that shit to make sure you're not getting like, abducted. And then you can job shadow them. We didn't get any meaningful credits beyond extracurricular. Yeah, see, that's not a vibe. My school had work study thing where we could shadow jobs, and I loved it so much. Yeah, I think it's really good just for kids to be out in the community. I had an elective that was an external ship, and I got to leave 4 days a week to volunteer at 2 different places a year. That's cool. All right, so let's move back on to the Ed Rising. Now let's talk about how inclusive Eckhart was. Eckhart loved uplifting silenced voices, whether it was people of color or queer voices. She eats shit up, speaking from a queer person. Unless you were the stereotype of your minority or identity, you didn't matter. She wanted representation in her organization, but if you weren't presenting in the right way or her way, you were cast aside. But if you were perfect representation of a group, you could get away with anything. I tried graduating early, and my high school tried making me stay longer. Why do they do this? Did you see what happened with Bright Futures today? No, I did not. My school had a mandatory job shadowing in your preferred field. Nice. Mandatory, I don't know. Anyway, Why was I scolded for pointing out that queer people needed to be treated the same when our school's pastor, he played football and would pray at the pep rallies and stuff, was talking about how immoral and sinful living as a queer person was? She let that slide. She let a lot of students slide for stuff only because they fit the bill of what she needed to look good in public. I was in this class for 3 years, and every year she added people that looked like a representation of what she needed, not people that were actually involved in enjoying the class. Anyway, Ed Rising does state and national conventions and competitions. I competed a few times, mostly for public speaking, but I noticed it wasn't only our chapter of Ed Rising that was fake inclusive. Fake inclusivity is wild and very, very common. One competition in my later years was called Ed Rising Moment. Basically, you took a moment where you realized you wanted to go into education. I wrote about a field trip we took to the state penitentiary and the impact it had on my view of people. Turns out the competition was more like a who had the biggest sob story. I did not know that. So competition comes and I'm told to up the emotion, so I did. I lost to a guy who did his on his IEP, the same IEP I have for gifted art. I talked to him before and after the competition, and nothing in speculation, it's what he told. He bragged about how he wrote very vaguely and not to acknowledge that his IEP was for the gifted program and not the special needs program. That is fucking wild to like bait and switch. Like that you're in the special needs program to win a scholarship. That is not okay. That I think is illegal. How did your teacher let you turn that in? Where was I? Which he was lightly hinting at. He won state for lying. That's when I realized this organization was really corrupt, so it's not just the teachers, but the students too. We had fun at the national conference. Next year comes, our teacher informs us that we cannot go to this year as our sponsors were still paying for last year. That has Rachel Berry energy. Oh my God, you fucking hit the nail on the head. That does have Rachel Berry energy. We're not done. So if there was any social justice trend, she hopped on it. She spent money on anti-R word pins when that was a big thing. But did we talk about autistic, ASD, and neurodivergent people? No. We had no meaningful conversations. We only did what got us clout. Speaking of clout, there was an event for our city's school for the deaf and blind hosted called the White Cane Day. We went during our school day for a field trip, genuinely met some really nice people. Our assignment that day, vlog. She wanted us to vlog and interview students of the deaf and blind schools. That's what they're called. We had to interview students about their disabilities, not only for clout, but for a grade. This lady is the poster child for performative activism. A person with a disability. Is this interview going to help create legislation that will improve my experience for school? Your teacher. No. It's for clout. Clout chasing only. After I had quit the class, my teacher texted me. It was a small class with all the events and traveling we did. We all had her number, as well as being in a group chat with her about my name. My name is Stokely. A famous person that shares my name is Stokely Carmichael, a black rights activist. I actually talked about Stokely Carmichael a lot. I did a stream about the Black Panthers. If you weren't here for that stream, it's on YouTube if you want to watch it and learn more about this person they're referring to. Stokely Carmichael, a black rights activist who coined the term Black Power. This part killed me when I read it the first time. I am a fat white girl, so I wasn't named after him, but I still know the significance of my own goddamn name. She was the nice teacher, the one who you went to for things, but when I went to her, no help. It wasn't equitable for her students. She talks a lot about equity. I don't think she quite knows what it means. This is really, really long. You can use places and names as you see fit. Our names were used publicly for her, so I don't see why she would mind this. You killed me with that. Our names were used publicly for her, so I don't see why she would mind this. Also, that comment was very funny. You're very good at that. Slay. Okay, so we're up to date on education horror stories, but don't worry, we're not done. There's other tea that got spilled. The smiley was the cherry on top. Thank you, Stokely. Thank you, Lemur Banana. Love that comment. Lemur Banana, you've been quiet today. How are you? I ate too much of this chocolate. It's dark chocolate, so like very strong. We'll wash it down with Mike's Hard Lemonade. Perfect. Or Mike's Hard Red Freeze. Shit, that's good. It's fresh. It's just a little too sweet. I'm doing great, Queen. Thanks for asking. You're welcome. Okay. So moving on to spilled tea. Where'd my phone go? What's the red like? I'm a blue girly. It tastes kind of like if a melted cherry slushie was carbonated. It needs I wish it had a hint of lime to it. Maybe it feels too sweet because it's melted. What are the ways that you would change the education system? So the number one way I would change the education system is increasing teacher pay. This is not going to be a popular sentiment that I'm about to say, but a lot of teachers are very bad at their jobs, and there are a lot of very unqualified people in the classroom that do very weird and sketchy things, as we've seen here. And my logic is do we like capitalism? No, but we live under capitalism. So you're going to get what you pay for. So if you pay teachers $47,000 a year, most people, you are going to get $47,000 a year worth of effort, because anyone that's capable of making more than that is probably going to have to survive and take care of themselves. So unless you pay teachers well, there's no point in changing anything else, because no matter what you implement and no matter what you change, teachers are on the ground floor doing most of the implementation. And if you do not have well-paid, highly qualified staff there, it's not going to be fucking good. It's very ironic for me to say, because I was not qualified at all. Never had my education, anything. Just kind of got a job and went in the classroom. But I think, honestly, maybe if I had had better training and was paid better, I wouldn't have burned out and things could have been different. You know what I mean? So, number one, increase teacher pay. Anyone who's exited school in the last 10 years agrees with that take. It's not any better in Canada. So number one, increase teacher pay. Number two, I think there needs to be a lot more downtime in schools. Kids are really over-tested. I think kids need more time to eat leisurely. A lot of kids eat really fast at school and it's not healthy. They need more time to eat leisurely. They need more time outside, and they need more time for independent learning. Kids need time every day to learn in a way that is choice learning, whether they want to read a book, maybe whether they want to work on a Lego set, they want to do a math game online. They need to engage in learning that is choice. That's the best way, especially for little kids, to learn, is by something that they pick. So that's another one. High school, like I said before, they should do job shadowing. They should be doing things that's going to get them more invested in their education. Oh yes, I have a weird relationship with food because I had to eat so fast in high school. My school gave us the shortest allowed lunchtime. Yeah. Anyone who's excited for school... Oh, yeah, I already read that one. I miss nap time. The Blue Mats were supreme. So I actually, when I was in high school, I had a really short lunch. I had about 20 minutes for lunch every day, but by the time you actually sat down, it was 15 minutes. The high school I taught at, they had a longer lunch. They had 40 minutes for lunch, which to me is a really good, solid amount of lunchtime, because you have time to eat, you have time to chat, you have time to run to the restroom if you need to. I think an hour is ideal, but I felt 40 minutes was great. Waiting in line for half the lunch period, yes, that was the other thing. Sometimes their line would move too slow, but they had a long lunch, 40 minutes, and a lot of the kids brought their own lunch because they didn't like the school food, which was very reasonable of them. But I saw the difference in the way that I ate lunch in high school compared to the way that my students ate lunch, and theirs was so much better. They seemed so much more relaxed. They ate more food. They were joking with their friends. It just seemed so much better. We had a full hour, and kids, we could go off campus to eat. That's so true. My teacher in high school gave us 20% project time. We could work on a project that we were passionate about, and it was a super cool and great way for kids to explore passions and learn new things. Yeah, I'm very in favor of choice-based learning. I think especially in elementary school. I think so many elementary schoolers would develop a different relationship with school if they had an hour a day just to engage of learning of their choice. I also think they need physical activity every single day. In my opinion, most of elementary school should be focused on building skills and building your relationship to learning and your relationship to yourself and yourself as a learner. So I think it should be really focused on developing their creativity, their reasoning skills, their logic skills, their critical thinking skills, their basic math fundamental skills of understanding numbers and the way numbers interact. Because some people I know as adults do not understand numbers. They can't visualize numbers. They don't understand how numbers interact with each other and go together. They can't do math in their head and things like that. And I think that really starts at a young age. I don't think we spend enough time on foundational math skills. we try and get them to do too much too fast when they just need to be exploring the relationships between numbers. I think philosophy classes in high school are great too. I had a theory and knowledge course and it's been super helpful. My elementary experience would have been better if it had that system. My AP World History teacher did the passion project thing. We were given an entire class period every Friday to research and do a presentation at the end of the trimester. I TA'd during the lunch period my senior year and it helped me relax, but it did completely undo the 5 years where I didn't have the time but it didn't undo the completely 5 years where I didn't have time to eat leisurely. Yeah, I was going to say something and I forgot what it was. Well, damn. Oh, well. But yeah, project-based learning, choice learning, all the things. So, I still don't know my multiplication tables. Exactly. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Like, we have kids doing all this difficult math really at the jump when, like, they're memorizing the steps, but they don't know what they're doing. They don't know why that happens between those two numbers. They cannot visualize it. Like, they don't get it. Like, they're memorizing it, but they don't get it. And I think we need to spend so much more time on, like, foundational math skills. Oh, the other thing I was going to say. I was really lucky that, like, the elementary school I went to was very high performing when it came to test scores. It was in an upper middle class, predominantly white area. Those kind of areas usually perform well on standardized tests because that's who creates those tests. But anyway, so my elementary school, like, we did not talk about standardized testing that often. I don't remember it being a big a deal. I remember we took it at the end of the year, but it was just one test for a couple of days at the end of the year, and they'd be like, make sure you get a good night's sleep, but it wasn't something that stressed us out, and pretty much every single kid at my school would usually pass. So because of that, like, we got a lot of choice in elementary school. Like, I'm going to tell you about some stuff that I did in elementary school because I feel like a lot of people didn't do this, and this is what elementary school should be like. Like, my school was not perfect. It was a public school and there were definitely issues, but overall my elementary school was great. So one, we raised caterpillars into butterflies outside. Oh, also I had a multi-age program. So I had the same teacher for kindergarten and first grade, and half the class was kindergarten and half the class was first grade. And so you, like, work together on stuff. We did reading and math separately, but everything else, like, we did together, and it was really cool. I think I learned to read a lot younger because of that. Like, I became a good reader because they would have you read, like, with your first grade buddy, and you would, like, trade buddies. There was, like, a whole system, but whatever. So one, we did that. In that class, I remember we did, like, a lot of physical learning days. Like, one day my teacher brought in all this fruit and was, like, explaining why the fruit was like that. And then she was telling us about, like, how you have little ridges on your teeth, and it's so that you can bite, like, into the skin of fruit and stuff. And then I remember we did, like, rocks experiments in third grade. I remember we had, like, all these different types of rocks and did cool experiments on them. I can't imagine going to a school with less funding. Yeah, like, my school appeared to be funded well. And the biggest difference was, like, a lot of the elementary teachers at that school were married to men that had very good jobs who would just pay for everything. Like, so many of my teachers, their husbands would spend so much fucking money on their classrooms, and their companies would, like, do it as a donation and stuff like that. But yeah, so that was the other reason my elementary school was, like, money. But yeah, we did tons of cool stuff and projects and all of that. I got detention in fourth grade because I wasn't doing well enough on the multiplication tables. Jesus Christ. That's heavy. Okay, let's get into the spilled tea, though. In second grade, we had chicks in the classroom starting from eggs in an incubator. It was a poor school, so I don't know if they paid for that or what. That's, like, we need so much more of that in elementary schools. Like, not to insult kids, but, like, they don't do that anymore, and kids really don't be knowing things. Like, kids just don't know things because they don't do stuff like that anymore at most schools. Okay, so we're moving on from education horror stories, and we're moving on to just general tea getting spilled. It wasn't until 8th grade I fully understand math concepts. I just memorized the answers. In 10th grade, math clicked for me. Oh no, I think it was 11th grade. Yeah, in 11th grade, math clicked for me, and I was like, I fucking understand all this bullshit. Like, I'm so good at math now. Not all math, but some math. Okay, so anyway. I'm a consulting intern in I'm a consulting intern, and the DEI there is insane. For those of you that don't know, DEI is diversity, equity, and inclusion. So when your work has those classes, and it's like, hey guys, let's talk about respecting different cultures in the workplace. That is DEI. It's an example of DEI. The people they recruit are very clearly, you are racist and you will peer your police You will police your peers' racism. Kind of genius, but so exhausting. I was a teaching fellow before this, and it's the same emotional labor, but the implicit bias affects the stock market instead of the education of future generations. Would love to hear if anyone went the EDU corporate feels the same. So I'm a little confused about what you're talking about here. I'm kind of confused. Like, are you doing the DEI or are you experiencing the DEI? I'm a little bit confused. DEI is racism. Knock it off. Bullying. Knock it off. Yeah, pretty much. That's what DEI is. Content warning. Pretty rough. They don't talk about anything in depth, though. There's nothing graphic, but it's very heavy. So I'll tell you that. So 23andMe reveals all. So I took a 23andMe test a few months ago, and when I got back my test results, I was super confused. I had been told throughout my childhood that my grandfather's grandmother, so the grandfather's grandmother, grew up on a Native American reservation, but my results came back as 99.6% European with absolutely no Native American in the other 0.4%. I mentioned this to my family and was immediately told to not talk about it anymore. I poked further into the issue, and turns out that my dad has suspect for years that his dad is not his biological father. So I guess you're saying like the grandfather's grandmother, so like your dad's grandfather is not the biological father, is what we're gathering here. Like, very messy and lots of people involved, so a little confusing. So yeah, your dad's father, your grandfather, is not actually biologically related to you all, which is why your DNA test was weird, because the Native American ancestry was attached to that person. Like, that's where it was coming from. Okay, I want to make sure we are all on the same page. The major issue here is that he suspects his real father is his mom's dad. So basically, my dad would be the product of incest, R word, but we can't ask my grandmother because she has lost the ability to speak in pretty much all motor function. Sorry if that was a super confusing explanation, but I don't really understand it myself. These genetic history tests are really the most mess always. Yeah, this is a lot to unpack. Like, there's a lot to unpack in this story. I hope your grandmother is okay. This is like Elizabeth Warren's heritage issue a while ago. Yeah, I was kind of getting Elizabeth Warren vibes off of this, where it was like, oh, I'm this much Native American. No, I'm not. But except this one seems like there's a lot more lying involved. I don't really know Elizabeth Warren's past, though, actually. But yeah, very much messy, very much a lot to unpack. So, sexual predator in aisle 12. So I have to tell you guys a story about my grandpa. He was very progressive for his time, and he didn't, like, I don't know what was wrong. He couldn't say the word predator, or I just don't know if he was misreading it. I don't know what the situation was. He would say a sexual predator, and that was always a sexual predator. There was one time that this guy was dating a girl that was much younger. My grandpa lived in, like, this small town, and there was a guy in his, like, late 20s dating a girl that was, like, 16 or 17, and my grandpa was like, that's a sexual predator right there. And he would literally always call people sexual predators, and he would do it so loud. We'd be in the grocery store, and he'd be like, come here, that man looks like a sexual predator. As a genealogist, ethnicity estimate DNA tests are highly flawed and will not be accurate. Interesting. Is this the grandfather that predicted the 2008 recession or something? I can't remember the whole story. Close. So he didn't predict it. He was retired. But when the recession was happening, they called him and they were like, hey, can you come work for us again? Because we fucked up really bad. And he was like, no, I'm just going to stay at my house. Thanks, though. And then he did nothing. And then the economy crashed. So he didn't cause it, but he, I think, could have tried a little harder to prevent it. But then the joke was really on him, because my parents almost lost the house and we almost had to move in with him. So I was like, you would have learned your lesson. That was a close one. You almost were paying for a lot of food for a lot of people. So yeah, that really would have been not the vibes. Okay, so this story sounds like the Catholic Church. So I used to work for a large pharmacy chain. One of the store's managers was caught fucking two of his employees. The women found out about each other and complained to HR. Not about the manager sleeping with employees, but about the other woman. Imagine calling HR and being like, I fucked my manager. And they'd be like, are you okay? And you'd be like, but the problem is he also fucked Cheryl. Very much love triangle. Man, everyone's talking about people getting other people pregnant in the Vietnam War. You know what HR did when they found out about this? They sent him to our store, where it took him 1 week to start harassing the female staff. It was so bad that when a new girl started, she was warned about him, like, hey, the manager is a horn dog and will try to hit on you and sleep with you. Like, that is a normal thing by multiple people. By the time I met her and tried to warn her, she was unfazed. Like, yeah, so I've been told I was doing training and he already tried something. Like, what? Unfortunately, I left shortly after he arrived, so I don't know what ended up happening to him. But the fact that upper management thought it was okay to keep this guy and fire our store manager. They fired your store manager? Aw, that sucks for them. So that they could transfer him is baffling. Crossover episode. Is this a crossover episode between To Catch a Predator and Cloud 9? Because remember in Cloud 9 where there was that love triangle between Sandra and Jerry, and what was that other lady's name? Carol, I think? Something like that? I don't know. I was getting the same energy from this. Except their love triangle wasn't with a sexual predator. It was with Jerry, who seemed like pretty nice. Also, there's another story about managers being creepy. I feel like half of these are just managers being creepy, which I think says a lot about the world. So, I worked for a local pizza shop that employed mainly high schoolers for their evening shifts. One night, the manager's mid-20s man would frequently ask girls 16 to 18 what their favorite sex position was and about their sex lives, and they would answer. Everyone had a crush on him. Did we work at the same place? I think we were coworkers. And it was like, hell yeah, an adult treating like us an adult. And not a kid. He was good looking and very charismatic and would chat with us about other things, not to make excuses for him, but to show why no one thought it was creepy and awful and let it go on. Any sort of downtime was filled with our wild, drunken, underage party stories and sex. I saw a meme about how you can't have a true love triangle without at least one bi person. Oh my god. This is what we think predators look like, and then this is what they actually look like, but I don't know this man, so if you're this man, sorry. This is a stock photo. That's what you get for posing for stock photos. You never know what's going to happen with them. But that's all my submissions. I can see Carol being bi. Yeah, Carol does have bi energy. I want to leave it on this meme, and I want to send you... Oh, it didn't save right. Damn it. Can someone send the... I thought I bookmarked it, but it's not there. Oh, wait. Yes, it is. I need to just make this bigger. I think it is there. There it is. Okay. So, I'm sending you, if you want to submit any, the links in the chat. I can't type. Education, horror stories, and then spill tea. Spill tea. Okay, there you go. There are the links. Let's hang out for a couple minutes. Let's chat about how our rights are disappearing, which is not great. I don't have to go for a little bit, so we can hang out, we can vibe, we can enjoy ourselves. My back hurts so fucking bad. I'm just gonna lay down. I'm just gonna lay down really quick. This is me when I'm babysitting. I'm a terrible babysitter. You should never hire me to be a babysitter, because I'll literally lay like this and be like, shh, let's sleep, I'm sleeping. Wait, you should digest the civics training live. Wait, I'm trying to think of a way to do this, because I can't open my email, because it has, like, shit that I don't want to be on the screen. Fuck. I'll do it next time, I promise. Oh, you sent me the meme on Twitter. Oh, right, I saw that and then forgot, and my phone is dying, but now we're almost done, so I don't care if the phone dies. Good stream, bestie. Great work. Thank y'all. Loud! Oh, I've seen this meme. It's this meme, and it says boomers full of lead, kids full of microplastics. I have a lot of Twitter notifications. Did you curl your hair? It looks extra cute. No, what I did is, like, so sometimes if you see my hair and it looks like Farrah Fawcett curled, this is what I do, is I, like, put my little front pieces out, and then I do this, and then I twist it, like, into this kind of a twist, like that. You see, it's just like a ponytail up like that, and then I go like that, and then I put my clip right there, and then I work all day like that, and then when I drop it down from being twisted all day, it kind of has a little bit more volume to it, and just hangs a little bit better. I had to babysit a 4 and 5-year-old in the pool this weekend, and I don't know who thought it was a good idea to put me alone in a pool with them. Kids under 8 in the pool stress me out. How did you handle that? So much anxiety. I used to be a lifeguard, and parents do not be watching their fucking kids at the pool. I almost witnessed many children die. Like, where the parent, like, I'd be, like, about to save them. The parent would be like, oh my God. And then I'd grab them before I could. And I was like, oh my God. I'm actually surprised some of these politicians have not been assassinated. They probably have solid security 24/7. Probably. Annoying. Big lame. Big fucking lame. Okay, so I just got an email from the old theater director of some random ass guy asking if he should be getting rights for a play for us for a school. Getting rights for a play for us for the next school year, as if that's not my job. Oh my God. I'm mad. I have to tell you guys something in the chat. Oh, someone messaged me. I thought a few too many times. It's been a long time since we've had a good old-fashioned assassination. Jesus Christ. Y'all are gonna get me taken down for inciting violence. Oh, you guys, Fabulously First Grade is having a boy. That's fun. Good for her. Good for her. What was I gonna show you? It was something. Oh, I was gonna tell you something in the chat. I'm talking to you in the chat, just so you know if you're not looking. But yeah, that's what's happening. Living for the teacher typing noises. I miss my nails. I need to find my hot pink nail polish because I'm getting my nails done, like, later this week. ASMR. Oh, the chat is broken. Here, let me fix it. And chat on screen broke. Perfect timing. I can send it again. Just for those of you that are watching this back later. There we go. There we go. Okay. I'm sending it in the chat again. I like how my thing is pink now. It used to not be pink. My life has been cruel in many ways, but thank God you've never had to deal with this. Yeah. Yeah, y'all see the drama. Like, y'all get it. I just got here and you're typing instead of talking. Yeah, you're right, Genriel. Yeah, so that's my stance that I just sent in the chat. Love the point, Kenbrielle. I did think that through. Don't worry. It's fine. The disclaimer about calling the cops. Exactly. I didn't want y'all to think I was just fucking calling the cops willy-nilly without thinking about it, you know? Like, you think these things through. And I don't think I would need to. I think I would just need to threaten to, you know? I don't think it would get to that point. But yeah, that's the team. That's how I'm living. I feel like we're texting right now. I love it. Because they were pretty sure I'd be a menace, and they probably aren't wrong. Unfortunately, this was not by choice. Do it on stream. She would be like, we are at. I have years of hate I'm throwing. Yeah, it's like I'm literally tired of it. Counting down. Pay-per-view. Y'all are hilarious. Okay, well, I need to go, like, deal with my life and all of those things that we've been discussing. I also need to clean my dishes because my pizza roll dish has just been sitting on the floor next to me this whole time. So thank you all for coming. Oh, wait, let's decide what we're doing on Wednesday. I kind of decided, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh, wait, yes, I did decided. So Kenbrielle, no, it does not. It does not. Which really does not sit well with my spirit. So what we're doing on Wednesday for stream is going to be the history of, like, the rise of the suburbs and redlining and, like, the growth of the car and all of that stuff. The typing reminds me of that one Modern Family episode where Claire is on her laptop at the airport. Yeah. So I don't think that they would do that. I don't. I really don't. I'm going to tell you the problem. So that's how you know it isn't good. God, that's literally how you know. Oh, the chat is broken again. Oh my god, I can't do this. Okay. I need to go handle my life and do my things. I can't handle the chat breaking again. Thank you so much for coming. On Wednesday, we're going to be doing, like, redlining and the rise of the suburbs and the rise of the car and all of that stuff. I hope you're here for it. It really is, like, how our country kind of grew into what the dumpster fire we live in know today. But good night, child, lemur, banana. Can't wait to take notes again, finally. Lena, we missed you. We missed your notes. I kind of thought that you had ghosted us, to be honest. I was like, you know what? It's fine. People engage with creators, then they stop engaging. That's just how life goes. So I'm very glad you're back. I was actually thinking about that earlier today. I was like, I wonder if Lena's going to be there tonight. I haven't seen Lena in a long time. I missed the notes. I wonder if they're going to come back. I hope they come back. No, I just have a job over summer. Very valid. I fucking hate having to exchange my time for money so that I can have food and shelter. Ugh. Disgusting. We could have had the electric car back in that time period. We could have. Okay, this was great. I have to go. Love you. Good night. Peace and roses. All the things. Make good choices. Sleep tight. Love you so much.